Going back to the shooting that happened this morning in South Miami Heights, 2 women were injured, were shot in that incident, and they have been airlifted to Kendall Regional Hospital. We do not have an update on their condition right now, but after that happened, police responded to the scene, and they are following this black Mercedes-Benz. It's a crossover with a paper tag. Police are saying on their scanners that there is a Hispanic male inside that car, and that is the person that police are trying to stop right now, and that person continues on US 27 approaching Pembroke Road at this hour. You can see him swerving on the left side of that vehicle. We got reports earlier that he was on Chrome Avenue going up to 100 miles an hour. If you can imagine that. Chrome Avenue is a 2-lane road, very dangerous for somebody to be going at that rate of speed. But right now, the car is on US 27 approaching Pembroke Road, just past Pines Boulevard. I'm trying to get some direction here from our assignment desk whether that car is westbound or northbound. Would that be westbound right now on US 27?
Northbound on 27th
Northbound on 27th Avenue? On US 27 approaching Johnson Street. That's the information that we're getting right now. Okay, we are in Broward County. It looks at this point, again, the vehicle is a Mercedes-Benz Crossroad. That's right, it's a crossover vehicle, a Mercedes-Benz crossover vehicle with a Hispanic male inside, and that person is wanted for a shooting in Southwest Miami-Dade. The address of that shooting, 12341 Southwest 190th Street. According to police, a man went into that house and shot 2 women. Those 2 women have been airlifted to Kendall Regional Hospital right now. Their condition is unknown. Police responded to the scene of that shooting, and that's when they started chasing the person inside that vehicle. It is a black Mercedes-Benz with a paper tag. It's a crossover vehicle, late model car with no intention of stopping. Right now, that car is on US 27 passing Sterling Road. Okay, passing Sterling Road. We're getting this information as it happens right now because this car is going so fast. Earlier it was on Chrome Avenue, but now it is on US 27 passing Sterling Road in Broward County. So we could assume right now that BSO will be involved in this chase. Up to now, Miami-Dade police have been involved in this chase, and the Florida Highway Patrol. And we apologize because every now and then the picture from Chopper 4 may freeze up, but this is a developing story right now. And look and see what happened right there. It crashed right into that vehicle. I believe this would be at Sterling Road, and we saw how fast that car was going, approaching Griffin Road. The suspect inside that Mercedes-Benz, and an innocent person who was driving across US 27 was just T-boned by that vehicle. Let's see what happens right now. Hopefully that person is okay, and hopefully police will be responding quickly. Again, the person in that car is wanted for a shooting that took place in South Miami-Dade this morning. 2 women were injured in that shooting, and that person just fled the scene. You can see that the police helicopters are out there, and hopefully police and fire rescue will be responding, especially to that person who was crossing US 27 right there in the vicinity of either Sterling Road or Griffin Road. We believe it's Griffin Road, US 27, where this happened. And you can see right now the police units are responding. We saw this just moments ago, developing right now live on television. We saw that car slam into the vehicle that was crossing Griffin Road. Again, the person inside the car is wanted for a shooting in Southwest Miami-Dade. Let's see how this develops right now. We're hoping that the person, the innocent person who was in that car on Griffin Road crossing US 27, oblivious to what was going on. The police were not that close to the vehicle, but the vehicle nonetheless was going at a very high rate of speed. And right now, police responding to the scene. That is the car in which the suspect was traveling. Again, a Latin male wanted in a shooting that took place this morning in South Miami Heights. We have an address for that shooting. It was 12341 Southwest 190th Street. You can see the officers getting out of their vehicle and approaching with their guns drawn, approaching the vehicle with the suspect, and the officers are now running back for cover right now. It could be that they saw some motion inside that vehicle. Again, remember that this is an armed suspect that police are looking looking for. This is somebody who is wanted for the shootings of 2 women this morning in Southwest Miami-Dade, and someone with no intention of being arrested by police because of the way, given the way he was driving, first on Chrome Avenue and then later on US 27. Again, if you're just joining us, this is a developing story. Live pictures from West Broward County right now. Police have been following that Mercedes-Benz, which was going at a high rate of speed, first of all on Chrome Avenue, leaving deep Southwest Miami-Dade, eventually going on to US 27. We are told right now that shots are being fired. We saw those officers first approaching the Mercedes-Benz and then later on scrambling for cover. We believe that shots have been fired and police are on the scene. Now, we also have the victim in the other vehicle who was hit by the Mercedes-Benz, and that person was driving on Griffin Road, just crossing the street, and we saw it happening right here live. The scene, we're told by police, is not secure. So the officers, again, responding. We expect to see more police officers out there, but a very, very dangerous situation. First of all, with that suspect in that car going at such a high rate of speed, first on Chrome Avenue and then on US 27, and now police believing that there is a suspect in that car who is armed, and we have reports of shots being fired. The officers, of course, retreated for cover immediately. Those officers, again, behind their vehicles, and we are seeing the story develop before our eyes as you are. Again, the man inside that car is wanted for a shooting in South Miami-Dade. We can assume this is a very dangerous person. Reports of shots being fired, so that person has a weapon, and you can see the officers taking cover and more officers responding. And what I would like to know is whether or not fire rescue is out there to treat the person who was in the other car that was hit by that Mercedes-Benz right there at the intersection of Griffin Road and US 27 in western Broward County. BSO responding to this, Miami-Dade Police, the Florida Highway Patrol, and other police departments. Now, the officers have their weapons drawn, as we can see that right now in these live pictures from Chopper 4. Again, the suspect in that car is wanted for the shootings of 2 women this morning in South Miami Heights. That's in deep South Miami-Dade. The address is 123rd Avenue and Southwest 190th Street. What we're being told right now is that there were 2 women in that house who were shot. The suspect in that shooting is the man who got inside that Mercedes-Benz and fled the scene. Those 2 women were air rescued and have been taken to Kendall Regional Hospital. Whether or not this was a domestic dispute or what exactly transpired in that home, we do not know at this time. What we do know is that 2 women were shot. Those 2 women have been air rescued to the hospital. The suspect in that shooting got inside that black Mercedes-Benz and left the scene going northbound, first of all, on Chrome Avenue, very dangerously driving up to 100 miles an hour on what is a 2-lane road, eventually going on to US 27 going westbound, and the accident occurred at the corner of US 27 and Griffin Road, and that is where a vehicle that was passing the intersection was T-boned by the suspect. We're also told that FHP is on the scene. The Broward Sheriff's Office is on the scene, and the officer just pulled up to the innocent victim, and that is where we have a lot of concern right now, because there was somebody in that car just driving, minding their own business, driving and crossing that intersection when that person was slammed by that Mercedes-Benz, which was eluding police going westbound on US 27 and crossing the intersection of Griffin Road, and we saw that unfortunately develop here live as we were following this chase in western Broward County, again starting in South Miami-Dade, but it came to an end there, as you can see. Unfortunately, a terrible ending right there for the innocent victim who was driving at the intersection of US 27 and Griffin Road. Now, police are on the ground. We could see those live pictures with their guns drawn near the suspect vehicle. We just heard moments ago that shots were fired, so we can assume that that suspect is in there with a weapon, and we don't know exactly what has happened who that person shot at, but we know that there have been reports of shots being fired. The officers, of course, responding immediately and pulling back, scrambling for cover. And right now, that is the situation that is unfolding live right now in western Broward County. We have officers there. You can see behind the guardrail, behind the light post, behind the police cars on the ground with their weapons drawn after hearing shots coming from that black Mercedes-Benz. We have that other vehicle with the victim in there. We're told that police are responding there, and hopefully that person was not seriously injured. But when you saw the speed that Mercedes-Benz was going right now, your heart goes out to the person who was in that car crossing Griffin Road, crossing US 27 on Griffin Road. You can see some police activity right there, officers scrambling to those vehicles. Several police agencies out there in western Broward County, and again, the suspect inside the Mercedes-Benz, described as a Mercedes-Benz crossover vehicle with paper tags. That is the person they were chasing. Right now, we just are getting word that the SWAT team has requested and an armored car has been asked to respond to the scene of the shooting, as police are being extremely careful as they approach that black Mercedes-Benz. That is where the suspect is. We also have the car where the victim is. That's the car over on the right side of the screen, is the victim who was crossing US 27 on Griffin Road. To the left side, or rather the center of the screen, that is the Mercedes-Benz with the suspect from the shooting in South Miami-Dade. Again, two women reportedly shot in that incident that occurred this morning at 12341 Southwest 190th Street. A man fled the scene in the Mercedes-Benz. Air Rescue responded to South Miami-Dade, and those two women have been airlifted to Kendall Regional Hospital. When police responded to the scene, the suspect fled in that Mercedes-Benz. He was again first on Chrome Avenue, going up to speeds of 100 miles an hour, eventually going on US 27. He crossed Tamiami Trail, Southwest 8th Street, Okeechobee Road, and eventually made it on to US 27 going westbound at that point, and then crossing Griffin Road in Broward County, and that is where the accident happened, and that is where we have this tremendous amount of police activity right now with BSO, Miami-Dade, the Florida Highway Patrol, other agencies responding, and again a SWAT team being requested right now in an armored vehicle being asked to respond to the scene. We are told that the two females who were shot in South Miami-Dade have already been transported via Air Rescue to Kendall Regional Hospital. Again, we do not know the condition of those two women. But again, we have two vehicles involved here. That is the Mercedes-Benz, described as a crossover vehicle. It had paper tags, and that is where the suspect was in, and police heard shots just a little while ago. To the right is the vehicle of the victim who was out there, just somebody driving right now on US 27 crossing Griffin Road, or rather on Griffin Road crossing US 27. That is an innocent person who was inside that car. You can see the amount of police right now with their weapons drawn after reports that they heard shots coming from the Mercedes-Benz. You can see BSO is out there, the Florida Highway Patrol is out there, Miami-Dade Police. You can see I believe that is a Miami-Dade police car right next to the vehicle of the victim who was crossing US 27 at that point. And you can see other agencies. It's hard for me to tell right there what agency that is. I believe that might be the Broward Sheriff's Office. I'm not exactly sure. But we have so many agencies out there, and police officers, of course, taking cover after they were initially approaching the vehicle. There must have been like 3 or 4 officers at that time, and they suddenly scrambled after they heard shots coming from the vehicle. Now, BSO is on the scene with Air Rescue to transport the victim in the car, and that is the person that we are hoping right now was not seriously injured in this collision that occurred this morning on US 27 and Griffin Road, when the suspect just going full speed on US 27, crossing Griffin Road, taking a red light, and then slamming into that car, which ended up in that grassy area right there. There is a Miami-Dade police car next to the victim's car, and we are being told that air rescue will be responding right now to transport the person in that car. Now, there were shots fired from the Mercedes-Benz. Who that person was firing at this point, we don't know. We can see how badly damaged both these vehicles are. It looks like the backside of that car was damaged worse than anything. Hopefully, the driver is okay and not seriously injured. But again, it happened at such a high rate of speed. It was such a hard impact accident when we saw that develop right here live on CBS 4 as Chopper 4 was following the suspect in the Mercedes-Benz. Again, this all happened after a shooting this morning in South Miami Heights at 12341 Southwest 190th Street. Miami-Dade police reporting that 2 women were shot at that location. The suspect in that shooting is the person who police believe was inside that Mercedes-Benz, who fled South Miami-Dade at 123rd Avenue and 190th Street, going northbound, first of all, on Chrome Avenue, and then on US 27, and that is where the accident happened, at US 27 and Griffin Road in Broward County. And you see the amount of police activity out there. This is pretty far west in western Broward County. Not a lot of homes out there, but there are some businesses, all kinds of different establishments there on US 27. It is more than 2 lanes, but at one point that car was on Chrome Avenue, which is only a 2-lane highway, just going passing trucks and passing all kinds of vehicles. Miami-Dade is handling the scene, we're told right now. It's believed that the suspect is still inside the Mercedes-Benz. So we can tell you that shots were fired from that vehicle. And the officers right now have their weapons trained on the Mercedes-Benz. We've got 3 different police departments out there, Miami-Dade and 2 BSO vehicles. Now we've got Joan Murray out there. We may be able to go to Joan in a little while, and we do in fact have communication with Joan. Joan, we're going to stay on the live pictures, want to bring you into this, and what information are you getting about what's happening out there?
Elliot, we are on Griffin Road, just east of US 27, about a half a mile from the scene where this is a staging area that the police and the Broward Sheriff's Office has put us. We came out to this scene via 595 where there was nothing, but if we can go live, in fact, there is a SWAT vehicle moving in right now on Griffin Road. I don't know whether you can take our picture, but we can show you what's happening right now. So they have staged all the media in this area east of US 27 where that standoff is happening. At this point, there is a large SWAT vehicle making its way through the road that has been barricaded here. We are here along with many fire rescue vehicles, Davie PD, many other surrounding agencies. At this point, authorities have shut down that area of US 27 and also this area of Griffin Road, so they are turning vehicles around. Everything is at a standstill right here as we speak. Elliot?
Joan, what municipality is this? We've been saying western Broward County. Is this Davie?
I think it might be Broward Sheriff's Office. We see Broward Sheriff's Office Fire Rescue, Davie Fire Rescue, Davie PD, but again, coming out here, we saw numerous, at least 24 unmarked cars making their way along 595 and then to US 27. So I believe that they have asked for a lot of help from the surrounding agencies. What we're looking at right now, in fact, you can see that they have had the vehicles exit US 27 on Griffin Road. These are the vehicles that were heading northbound, and they are now making their way off of 27 onto Griffin Road and have to snake their way around to get to I-75. So in addition to all the activity going on, the criminal investigation, there's a lot of traffic problems in this area as cars are funneled off the road to avoid that area where this is going on.
Joan, how far are you from the intersection of US 27 and Griffin Road?
We're about a half a mile from US 27 on Griffin Road. Again, they have stopped all the traffic that would have been heading westbound on Griffin at this area. Again, it's about a half a mile. We can't actually see where this SWAT activity is going on. At the area where I'm at, there are numerous police vehicles, as I mentioned, Davie PD, Davie Fire Rescue, Broward Sheriff's Office, a number of unmarked vehicles. I even see now that a Weston Fire Rescue truck has pulled up, so a massive police presence right here, right now. And again, the cars are being taken off of 27, detoured off of US 27. The northbound traffic is being detoured off 27 down Griffin Road, and they are making their way through the neighborhoods here in this western part of Broward County to try to make their way to 75.
Right, and that would be one of the major roads out there, people using the sawgrass to get around because Griffin Road right now is closed and US 27 is closed, so quite a traffic nightmare for people out there. That's Joe Murray reporting not far from the scene of where all of this is happening on Griffin Road and US 27. I want to let you know that it's now been just over an hour since we have been live on the air with this story. 1 hour ago, we first went on the air to report to you that there was a suspect in a Mercedes-Benz who had been, according to police, involved in a shooting in South Miami-Dade. We first came on, this car was on Chrome Avenue, and then eventually it was approaching the Tamiami Trail. It was in Miami-Dade County, and Chrome Avenue, again, a very narrow road. It's a two-lane road with a lot of truck traffic and a lot of commercial traffic on it, and very dangerous. But the car eventually got on US 27, and right now the SWAT team, I'm being told, is moving in, and they are actually on the vehicle. There you go. We had to adjust. I'm sorry, we had to adjust our picture, but now those SWAT officers are literally on top of this Mercedes-Benz. You can see from all sides the SWAT officers are over the vehicle where one suspect is inside, and it looks like that officer may be getting ready to open the door there. But again, according what we heard from police is that there was only one person inside the vehicle, and you can tell that the officer shot out the back window of the car. They are now looking through the front of the car, and now it looks like it's safer. The officers are approaching. More and more officers are approaching. It looks like they have now opened up the passenger, the driver's door of that Mercedes-Benz. It looks like we can presume at this point that the person inside that car either died from the traffic accident or shot himself, and those were the shots that the officers heard, because no officer that we saw approaching that vehicle fired any shots into the vehicle. The officers did have their guns trained for safety. They had their guns drawn, I should say, but once they heard shots being fired in the Mercedes-Benz, they immediately pulled back and they went for cover, and they had officers on the victim's vehicle, and they also asked for a SWAT team, and they asked for armored vehicles to respond to the scene, and that is in fact what happened. The SWAT team has now gone inside that vehicle, opened the doors, and they have now determined that it is safe for them. And paramedics on the scene are checking the suspect right now. We are told that the driver is in fact dead. So as a result of this story, here's what we have. We have an innocent motorist who was killed in that collision that happened with that Mercedes-Benz right now, and we have the driver of the Mercedes-Benz dead as a result of this accident. He was the only one inside that vehicle. So to recap one more time, this is what happened this morning. There was a chase after a shooting in South Miami-Dade in which two women were shot. They were airlifted to the hospital. The car was first on Chrome Avenue, then on US 27, and then sadly, and you're about to see that dramatic image of the car as it was on US 27, it slammed into a vehicle that was on Griffin Road, and there is the impact right there. The driver, an innocent person of that car who was crossing US 27 at Griffin Road, died as a result of that accident. The suspect inside the Mercedes-Benz, Police were approaching the vehicle when they heard shots fired. And here's that video of those officers approaching the vehicle, and they heard shots fired. They scrambled for cover. Now, the suspect in the driver's seat believed to be self-inflicted gunshot wound, and that is the report that we're getting right now from police. The driver in the Mercedes-Benz, the person wanted in the shooting in South Miami-Dade, has died as the result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Let's go right now to CBS 4's Gabby Fleischman in South Miami-Dade to bring us up to date on the shooting that precipitated all of this police activity. Gabby?
Well, Elliot, we're at the spot where this all started. It happened at this home you see behind me that is surrounded by police. This is on Southwest 124th Avenue and 190th Street. Police say that 2 women at this home were shot. We talked to neighbors here who say they heard at least 4 shots. At this point, it's unclear if that shooting happened inside the house or outside the house. But after the 2 women were shot, police say the suspect in this shooting, he drove off while he was leading police on a chase. The 2 women who were shot, they were airlifted to Kendall Regional Medical Center. Right now, we do not know their condition, but they were airlifted to the hospital. That man, he fled this scene, as you mentioned, and as we've been talking about all morning, he led police on a high-speed chase into Broward County, leading to this very dramatic scene with SWAT teams, shots fired from that suspect. And now, as we are seeing unfold, and as you've been talking about, this man dead in that car from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and the driver that he crashed into also dead here. So at least 1 victim in this case. We are keeping a close watch on the 2 women who were airlifted. As soon as we get any information on their condition and their relationship to this man, we will bring that to you, Elliot.
Yeah, Gabby, thank you very much. And in fact, we have Kendall Regional checking on the status of those 2 women at the hospital. As Gabby Fleischman reported, they were airlifted. And let's get a report right now from CBS 4's Joan Murray, who is, about a mile or so away from that intersection, Joan?
On Griffin Road, just east of US 27. This is the staging area, and it's also the area where you can see a lot of the emergency vehicles are parked, and also some of undercover police vehicles are making their way through so they can get to US 27. You asked me before for clarification on exactly where this is. This is actually considered Davie, according to the people I spoke to who live in the area. Once again, traffic is stopped here. This is Griffin Road, just east of US 27. These Broward Sheriff Fire Rescue, Davie Fire Rescue is here. We also see Weston Fire Rescue. So they were all waiting to see if they needed to go and assist the law enforcement at the area of the crash scene. So at this point, all these vehicles are just parked here. Again, traffic is still shut down. They were taking traffic off of US 27 and detouring them down here, Griffin Road, so the drivers could make their way around. It looks at this point that they might be getting close to allowing, I don't see any more traffic coming off of US 27 at this point. So once again, at this staging area, they still have it blocked off. Griffin Road is not passable at this point. So if you have to head in that area, stay clear of this area at least for the time being. Elliot?
Yeah, definitely want to stay out of that area. Thanks a lot, Joan, for that update close to the scene there in Davie. BSO Homicide is now moving the vehicle to check. The vehicle and all other SWAT units are staying back right now. That is what's happening, these live pictures. But to show you the video from earlier, that car was involved in the chase, leaving South Miami Heights, where 2 women were shot this morning. First, the car was on Chrome Avenue, and then it went on to US 27. That's getting off of Chrome, getting on US 27, where it went towards Griffin Road. That car, of course, going at a very high rate of speed. That is US 27, which has more lanes. It was earlier, it was on Chrome Avenue, which is a 2-lane highway, so you can imagine how dangerous that was. And then again, warn you, because that crash is coming up right there. As the car was approaching Griffin Road, It struck a vehicle that was crossing the intersection, and the driver of that car died on the scene. At that point, police arrived on the scene moments after that collision happened. The officers, the first ones, responded first of all to the victim's vehicle, and there were officers responding to the suspect's car, but they heard gunshots, and that's when the officers scrambled for cover. They went back and they requested the SWAT team. The SWAT team came out with 3 armored vehicles. They very carefully approached that vehicle, and they determined that the suspect had died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and he was the only person in that car. But sadly, the victim in the other car has died, and 2 women are in the hospital right now after the shooting.